Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market, along with taking a look over there at the stock market, which is set to open up right now. And we'll take a peek over there at precious metals like gold and then the US dollar currency index, or the DXY. As we get today started, we're pretty much right where we were yesterday. Not a whole lot has changed here in the markets, at least over here in crypto, since what we talked about in Markets in the Morning yesterday is we still continue to range in here, looking to see whether or not we can escape the range and start working on an attempt to go into expansion, or if our range has to continue on longer. I've already started recording a video this morning kind of talking about the things of really, these levels do need to hold in here. When we look at things on the bigger time frame and just a bullish trend continuing in here, so far so good. I don't see any signs of things changing otherwise. One of the structures we've, of course, been looking for is to just get a confirmation of being able to get out of here and then trying to find a support level and then really trying to attempt going for it, as we've talked about in here. So far, nothing has deviated from that. It still just looks like that. But as we sit here waiting, there is still that moment that we all need to see. We still need to see evidence that we can, or confirmation that we can get out of there. We actually did have a moment kind of like this back in 2020 before we went into expansion. Let's see, do I have others even up on the screen in here? I do not. Hold on, we're going to get it. Let me see. I'll grab it over here and pull it in. Sorry, you're all waiting. Thousands of people waiting in silence. Okay, here we go. All right. So, as we got in here, we had ourselves a battle here, obviously, recently, where we get stuck by the retracement levels, right? But, as we were trying to get through here, we had a lot of this stuff going on in here as well. And, looking at just like daily moving averages going on in here, right? Not unusual to have to come down here and have to fight all of these things happening in here before getting our way out. And so as we got back into retracement levels, we did have an ABC correction and then a lot of waddling that took place in here. Another way to look at that here is like with total 3, which I have right in here. This one, just so you know, we did something very similar and we got stuck in here, and this is all before expansion. And so I've conducted polls here in Markets in the Morning to ask how many people were here during 2020. And it was like 2/3 of people were not. So 2/3 of people came in, at the peak of the 2021 bull run. But understanding what it was like before heading into that, and if we do get expansion, a lot of you are going to see it for yourselves of what it actually is like, how you have to kind of go through all this trash for such a long time. And then, once things finally get really high, if they do, if they do get really high, what you'll see is that all the retail people pour in at the very top. And it's a crazy phenomenon to see how it works like that, that they all kind of pour in to buy the top of the market all at once. But before we ended up having to get in there, it was a lot of trash to work our way up in there and get out and get going at the same time. And we had something like this back into retracement levels as well back in 2021, obviously, or in 2020, excuse me. Obviously, this would not be the most fun one, right? And it wasn't fun then. We had to kind of meander through there for some time. I don't see evidence of us as doing that at this point. Still just a little break higher to give us some confirmation with a back test. And hey, we're on our way. But as we sit here at this particular moment in time, not above it, what do we have to talk about? The only thing we have to really talk about right now is that, hey, we're in this range. That's really the only thing there is to talk about in this market. You could pick all your little favorite assets and cryptos and whatever altcoin you want to talk about, the cold hard reality is the whole market moves together. I proved that. We proved that, me and TXMC, in this last newsletter that was put out in there. Different sectors outperformed other sectors, right? But in the end, even those sectors that were outperforming, still, it just proved it. The whole market moves together. So the thing, of course, we need to see is true expansion taking place in here. And as long as we're just sitting right here, the only thing we have to say is what's going to happen with this range. And that's always super exciting when we enter into periods like that, because I've been doing YouTube this is my 5th year of doing YouTube. We always go into periods where we are ranging. It happens all the time. It essentially demolishes, obliterates, and destroys sentiment while we sit there in those ranges with impatience and frustration and anger and disappointment as we sit in these things. But as we are currently here right now, what we're really just waiting for is to see, can we get out? Can we get ourselves a little bit of a back test and then go for the shot at actual expansion? Because we have not had a bull run yet. Believe it or not, this is not a bull run as long as we are still stuck underneath all of those retracement levels. But things to look back at, when you go back into these things, is that, you do come down here and you can poke below that 100-day moving average. It's okay to poke below that 100-day moving average, although that is fine and dandy. But things we, of course, wouldn't want to see, and things that shouldn't be occurring as we head our way up, is really dipping below the 200-day. So we're kind of in a range right now. We're waiting for evidence to see that we can get out. Even in escape of this range, as you could see, it would also clear through that 50-day moving average. So we have a couple of things with confluence there, right there at the top of that range currently right now. But still, we are just stuck and having to come up with ideas on being like, what would be an optimistic thing? Well, that would be our optimistic scenario in there. What are scenarios that we've seen before? We've seen ones that have gone like that. And that would just be ravishing. But until then, until the market proves something otherwise, we do just kind of sit here waiting for the range to resolve itself. And currently right now, that's where we're at. So it's going to be kind of a difficult period for the next week or two. If we can't at least get ourselves on the top of the range, we're just going to have to come up with range ideas still as we meander through here. But hopefully sometime soon, we can see an escape to the top of the range. An escape to the bottom of the range would mean what? Probably pretty bad. Probably pretty bad. You'd be breaking the 200-day moving average, which you don't do in bull runs. So that would be a bad thing to see end up happening in there. Structurally, on a bigger time frame, that would be a bad thing. What would we have then done? We would have smashed the 200-day move. We would have smashed the 702 Fibonacci retracement and then broke all daily moving averages. Not exactly something you would want to end up seeing. So as of right now, everything is perfectly fine, and these lows should be the bottom to hold into the double tap, bull flag, breakout, violent backtest to V bottom our way out of here. But no taking out those lows. No, sir. Or ma'am. Do not. Okay. But there you go. This is gonna be kind of our talk here for the next several days, guys, until something resolves itself. Until then, this is a range. Fun. So fun. All right, so there we go. We'll move on. Bitcoin still continuing its meander. Again, in today's video, I'll be talking about things that just show even more confluence of just how far along we actually are in this. And even individual altcoins are showing that we're at that moment right before expansion took place in the market back in 2020 and 2021 as well. If you're just tuning in to say, why is there that dotted line that is sitting right there? We've gone through and shown on-chain metrics on here to show that Bitcoin is actually significantly further than most people actually would think that it is. But at the same time, the dotted line represents when the altcoin market actually reached back to its retracement levels, which here in 2024, we hit the 702 over there on the others right there. And then back in 2021, we actually hit our retracement level right back here on January 10th. And so the Bitcoin price chart is actually even though it's only really just barely poked above its all-time high, actually acting like it's really much further than that. When we look to past cycles and past behavior of the market, both on-chain and with altcoin behavior. Moving on to XRP, nothing has changed here. It's the same story, right? We got back to the top of the range. The range has not been escaped. We're all still waiting for things to resolve themselves throughout the whole market. Ethereum, no different. Ethereum at all of these daily moving averages. It's okay to be in these, but you likely would not want to see below 200 because as you can see in here, you don't go below 200 in a bull until problems are starting to emerge in here, right? So things are still okay. Things are still okay, bouncing around underneath that. But as you can see, it sure would be nice to pop its way back above all of these and no additional problems to emerge. I don't see any signs showing up at all right now, but these are just going to be things we're going to look forward to say, hey, if that happened, things would sure be different. So I think it's important just to talk about that since we got nothing else to talk about while we're stuck in the range. All right, moving over to the United States stock market. Dow Jones is up 60 points now that's been open for about 10 minutes. You've got the S&P up 8 points, and you got the NASDAQ up 10. So a slightly positive opening, flat, but slightly positive. Looking over there at winners and losers of the morning, Apple, Caterpillar, and Google are the winners, up over 1% this morning. The losers today are Tesla, NVIDIA, and ARK. About 1% for ARK and NVIDIA, 2.5% over there for Tesla. Short duration yields are up, long duration yields are down. Gold, 23.19. So it has been nice to see gold chilled out. We've spent way too much time talking about gold. I'm sure you're all sick of it, but that was a warning sign that we were seeing as gold broke out. Inverse relationship. Anybody spitting you any other nonsense? It's just not true. There is an inverse relationship between gold and between the cryptocurrency and the equity market. So to see gold actually chilling out right now, I think we'll all take that all day long. Again, these are the bull runs for the cryptocurrency market, the expansions that happened in crypto 2013, 2017, and 2021 all came with gold getting slaughtered and obliterated. And that's what we do want to see over here for some more confluence to see what do we want? We want expansion. So if we want expansion, one of those things we want to see is gold chill out. And we do seem to at least see some early signs of gold chilling out. And, well, we were in the danger zone, historical danger zone for the dollar, and the dollar got pushed back down. So these are a couple of good things showing up in here for the dollar to cool off, for gold to cool off, and then equities are holding themselves up okay. But again, this is still the big moment. Can we get out of there? Do we meander longer? We just have to wait and see for something to show up. But good news is gold has chilled out. Dollar has chilled out as well. So that's really what we got going on this morning as we still continue to wait for this range to play out over here in the altcoin market, in the cryptocurrency market. Whatever your favorite altcoins are, it's all just kind of dependent on the whole market going at the exact same time. Still to this day, nothing has changed, right? That's one of those things we've always observed. The whole market tends to move together. Proved it even in here. Still to this day, that is still the phenomenon. It's that the whole market moves together, regardless of how strong a narrative is for an altcoin or a sector or anything like that. It's still the whole market moving together. So we have to wait and look at it from that manner because that's the thing that matters, right? So we'll wait on that and see if we can get some resolution here in the next day or two to escape the top of the range. And if not, we'll just continue to say, well, what are we doing? Okay, there you go. Bitcoin, there you go. XRP, story's the same. Ethereum, there you go. Dow, 80 points. So not big changes have happened here in the market in the last day or two. It's just kind of taking a bigger approach looking at it. Gold has cooled off. The dollar has cooled off. Those are good signs, but we still need an escape from the range over here in the whole market for evidence that we can go try to stab the expansion level, which we were not able to do. So we're not in a bull run yet until we can escape through there. All right, moving on over to news. Dow rises for a fifth day as Wall Street awaits more Fed clues. So looking over there at the Fed, what do you have? 91% probability that they will still be paused on June 12th. I don't know exactly when we're getting our next unemployment data. Unemployment was 3.9%. I did hear Danielle DiMartino Booth say that everybody has missed it, that the Fed has essentially sent the message that once we hit 4% is when they actually will end up doing the cuts. So we're only 0.1% away on unemployment, but there you go, 91.3. So we'll keep an eye on it for when the next bigger unemployment reading is going to be coming out. Looking forward to probabilities in the future. The market has 2 rate cuts priced in for 2024. It's got one priced in for September, where we get a 25 basis point or a 0.25% cut, and then one in December. So getting us down a total of 0.5% by the time we get to December. Of course, these things change rapidly. At the beginning of the year, they had 7 cuts priced in. This thing is constantly changing. So we'll see how it ends up going. All right, Stanley Druckenmiller gives Biden's economic policies an F and blames the Fed for reigniting inflation. Druckenmiller cut his NVIDIA stake in March and says AI may be a bit overhyped. There's no question, right? No question AI is overhyped. Essentially, everything in crypto is even trying to say it's AI, which, okay. But right, attach AI to your name, and sure enough, you get hyped, and we even showed that in here. With one of the some of the sectors in there that you do end up seeing that if you just say you're AI, which nobody understands. I'm a crypto and I'm AI. Then it's hyping. It's hyped. Yep. But Druckenmiller says he bought 5 Argentinian stocks and praises Javier Milei's policies. All right. Private equity firms circle Peloton for potential buyout. The streaming future Disney promised is finally here as cable TV decays. It does. Cable TV, man. Does anybody watch? I think the only thing cable TV has left for it is just that it has sports on it. That's it. All right. Trump trial Stormy Daniels to testify about hush money. Stock futures are little changed as Dow tries to extend 4-day win streak. There you go. Today's pain trade is rapidly rising market, catching many investors off guard. Listen, the market going up is never a pain trade. It's hopium. All right. Stanley Druckenmiller says he bought Argentinian stocks. Oil falls as course of Gaza war remains uncertain. All right. So what do we have here? We don't have anything. Literally nothing. Okay. So there's no news going on out there. Moving over to crypto news. Bitcoin rebound has crypto options traders anticipating 100K. The number of active Bitcoin call contracts is significantly higher than puts, indicating bullish market sentiment. No kidding. CoinDesk Flash gives... Okay, that's an ad for CoinDesk. All right. The SEC can't stop suing crypto companies. Oh, yeah, I think they went after Robinhood, right? I think Robinhood received a Wells notice. This will be interesting. Protocol Village, Silent Protocol introduces Ghost Layer solution for Ethereum using ZK and OVM. First Mover Americas, Bitcoin settles into the 63 to 64K range. Poll, most people cringe about crypto, but enough care to warrant politicians' attention. I saw the guy, I don't even know his name, who's running against John Deaton in Massachusetts, who is speculated to be a plant by Elizabeth Warren. I saw him attend a crypto Ethereum conference. So they've even got him in there into crypto conferences. If you check his Twitter, he's got like 400 followers. It's like, what? How are you running? All right, we're not going to talk politics. Sorry. Okay, moving on to Cointelegraph. All right, Nigerian officials proposed secret crypto settlement, claims Binance CEO. Bitcoin trader flags key levels as Bitcoin price attacks 64K liquidity. Pickup artists using AI and deep fake news are outlawed. Rabbit R1 fail. Summer will offer perfect opportunity for investing in crypto. Huh. Summer. What is a perfect opportunity? Does that mean we're going to crash and burn? Runes and BRC20s are just a stepping stone for Bitcoin DeFi. Satoshi era dormant Bitcoin wallet address wakes up after 10 years. Bitcoin mining revenue hits post-halving yearly low. Warren Buffett compares AI to nukes after seeing deep fake doppelganger. Jack Dorsey leaves board of decentralized social network Blue Sky, and back to extreme greed past 65K. 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. There we go. I don't know. News is pretty tame. I think that the thing is with Robinhood. Let me see if I can pull up anything on the Robinhood stuff. Robinhood. Retail trading platform Robinhood said on Monday it received an enforcement action notice from the SEC on May 4th over crypto tokens traded on its platform. The company said it received a so-called Wells notice, which the SEC issues when it's planning to bring enforcement action against them. Such notices do not necessarily mean the company is engaged in wrongdoing. We firmly believe that the assets listed on our platform are not securities, and we look forward to engaging with the SEC to make clear just how weak any case against Robinhood would be. Oh, SEC. Okay, how about this? Let's do... what do you do here? We'll go to Hood. Robinhood. Robinhood gets listed on the markets July 29th, right? July 29th. So it'll be interesting to see when the formal complaint comes out what they say, because they allowed them to go public here in July of 2021. If you remember, in July of 2021, we're already way past all the crazy, all the wildness of the markets, right, which took place in April and in May. So back then, what did they have listed on the platform? They had Bitcoin, Ethereum, they had Doge, they had Solana, they had Litecoin, they had Bitcoin Cash. I think they had Bitcoin Cash. They have Ethereum Classic, right? So what are they going to, which one? But now I think their list is a little bit longer. So we'll see if they include any of the original ones that were put on there. And then it's just going to look stupid. If they have anything that was in there when they allowed them to go public, it'll just look dumb. But okay. That's what we got in markets in the morning. Robinhood under attack by the SEC as the SEC continues their rampage in every direction. And otherwise, creeping on. Stocks up, or at least indexes are up. Very mixed market over here, but indexes are slightly up, with metals slightly down, and with the DXY 105.1. There you have it. We are ranging, ladies and gentlemen. We are ranging. So that's what we have going on with markets in this morning of Tuesday, May 5th. Otherwise, I'll hop into the chat and we'll get on our way so I can finish my video and we can all have a wonderful day. Okay. Big Shroom had gifted a super chat before the stream started. Thank you very much. Along with Stephen Edinburgh, who had gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you, Big Shroom. And then Pat, my man, staying up late. Pat over there in Australia, my chauffeur, and who took really good care of me and showed me around and was a good friend while I was there in Australia. Gives 10 memberships. Pat, thank you very much, sir. Ryan Chase says, my work week last week wasn't the same without you. I'm glad to have you back. It's real funny because when I go to these events, when I was in Australia, I heard that a lot too. People were like, what am I supposed to, even like they're seeing me in person, they're like, what am I supposed to do? My day is all messed up because I don't have my markets in the morning. And then the same thing happened when I was in Las Vegas last week too. What am I supposed to do? So I do treat it very with respect that I am part of people's day, and I do appreciate that, and I understand that because I have YouTube channels that I watch too, and it's like that for me as well. So I do appreciate that, and I'm grateful that I get to be that part of your day. So thank you, Ryan. And then Ryan followed it up with gifting 5 BCB memberships. And then not Oscar Hernandez. Great to have you back in the mornings, amigo. God bless you and your family. Not Oscar Hernandez, sir. What do I say? You guys ready? I have met not Oscar Hernandez. And I do want to inform you all that he is not Oscar Hernandez because I have also met Oscar Hernandez. But not Oscar Hernandez is a very nice guy, very cool guy. And that was amazing that I have actually met him. So, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the super chat. And of course, for everything in Vegas. Domintus Calisius. Boy, that's a difficult one. Hey, BCB, I just wanted to know, when can we hold hands and sing Kumbaya? Oh, it's very simple. If we get through here, this is the level where the market we would all be singing Kumbaya. Unquestionably. And it's no coincidence that it just pinpoint nails there and is not able to get through. This is the level of Kumbaya singing. This is the level of holding on for dear life. If we get through there, we're all hooting and hollering, and probably a beach party would be on its way pretty soon. But when will that be? Man, we got some work to do. Boy, do we have some work to do to get there. But that's what we are looking for. Big Shroom says, I'm waiting for the XRP AI amendment for Moon. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking for the RWA gaming AI amendment to be coming out. Thanks, brother. Andy says, thanks for everything, BCB. Question, are there any indicators that the Russell 2000 might soon take off to give the market some of the overall expansion that has been present in past crypto bull runs? So it's a really difficult one for the Russell. And I'll just show this. We can spend a few minutes here doing this. Right, so here's your Dow, right? The Dow Jones. All right, the top 30, right? Top 30 by market cap in the United States stock market, sitting all the way up here, right? So it's taken out that high from back in January of 2022. Whereas the Russell, way below, right? So what we just showed is we saw the Dow being way up here, right? You don't have... In Bitcoin's entire lifetime history, you don't have any macroeconomic situations where this has happened. So that's the big worry, right? The thing that you can look at right here is, what do you see happening here, right? I mean, this looks like Wyckoff accumulation. That looks like spring. This looks like sign of strength phase, right? However, it's gotten back to the retracement level and gotten stuck here and not able to get through. And it's hard for me to look at the Russell individually versus the Dow to say that it's going to do some type of catch up. And that's the complication of what we're all dealing with right now. Just that this time is different in regards to all of this, because in all of the past expansions of the market, right, Let's do this. We'll take this off the screen. I'm going to add two things here. And what we see here is, what do we see? We see expansion happening right here, right? So we'll do this. Right? This is where it expands and goes into a bull run right here for the Russell. Right? So let's add the Dow. Notice how the Dow also expands at the exact same time. They both take out their highs at the exact same time. The market expands together. How about Bitcoin? Here's the all-time high for Bitcoin. Notice Bitcoin expanding at the same time as the Russell and the Dow all expanding at the same time in 2020, right? They're all happening together. Move back. Do it again. Wrong one. Wrong one. Notice right here, this is the Russell. This is the Dow. They both expand at the same time. You get where I'm going with this, right? This is the 20, right? Then what does Bitcoin do? Goes into expansion, right? So and then we can go back. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. We could go back and we could do that again for the 2013 bull run and see the exact same scenario happening in here. So this is by far bizarre, right? Because let's take that. That is literally not what has happened in the past. This is totally not what has happened in the past. So we're all speculating, it's gonna play catch up, but that's not how it has worked in any of the bull runs for the last 15 years. It has always been they go together, not this stuff. So your question is, are there any indicators that the Russell 2000 might soon take off to give the market some of the overall expansion that's been present in past crypto bull runs? I don't know how you would guess that the Russell is going to do that into full blown expansion, just because it historically goes with the market. The market conditions are different. We all have to acknowledge they're different. And I think, and I think the thing I can just keep kind of reiterating too is that, people are applying these. It's much easier in crypto to just sit there and say we do 4-year cycles and that it's all based on the block reward halving. It requires minimum mental effort. It requires you to do nothing. It requires you not to focus on anything or pay attention to anything and just say it's 4-year cycles and it's the block reward halving. And so, you got everybody saying, we got a year and a half left of this thing. We're still good till the end of 2025 on this thing. And if you're just using those simple things, but the evidence and the data has proven that the block reward halving does not mean anything. I always have to like nervous laugh about that because that makes so many people angry to do that, even when you prove it with data. But these are the controlling forces of markets, and I do not know or see any evidence to see that this will expand. And I think that when you have people thinking we have a year and a half left of this, and then we talk about things like this and being like, the market has proven Bitcoin at least is likely way further along than people think it is. People think you got a year and a half left of this. This thing says you're lucky if you have 3 months. Lucky if you have 3 months, if the top isn't even already in. That you're lucky if you have 3 months left in Bitcoin. If you're going to immediately thumbs down the video for me saying that, anybody out there, you're more than welcome to do that. But if you don't understand why I'm saying that, and you are just a 4-year block reward having 4-year cycle person, you ain't paying attention. So I could see that we still have just a couple of months left in this thing, but I'm not so convinced that it's going to be a massive expansion. If it does go up in here, it's just simply, it was out of my realm to be able to forecast that it could do that, because it's just not normal, typical market behavior for this to occur, which I just showed you all throughout here, right? This is just not normal, typical market behavior. And yeah. So I'm not even going to try to guess on it because it's just acting very, very different. Chris says, do you think long-term treasuries will ever be a risky asset? I don't know. They're considered the most safe investment in the world. Will that change one day? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, man. For me, so I do own treasuries, but I don't own anything longer than 6 months treasuries right now. So I own a bunch of 6, 3, 1s, 2s, and 4s, and they just constantly reinvest themselves, and so they're at 5, a little bit over 5% on all of them, and I just kind of keep doing that. The thing, for me, my thought process is, if true problems show up in the market to where the Fed is actually signaling they're going to be going through a very real rate cut process, then it would be more alluring to me to go after things like the 1s, 2s, and 3s. For me, on 5s, 30s, 20s, and 10s, I don't know. I mean, to go 10 years and predict we're not going to have inflation exceeding 4.4% over the course of 10 years, hard for me to sit here and think that that's impossible to do. I mean, it's such a long time. But I could subscribe to the idea of I'll grab a couple 1s, 2s, and 3s if I think, we're going to go through a deflationary period in the market and the Fed is going to have to cut into that deflationary period. Because if they start cutting, then what's going to happen? Long duration yields are going to start falling, especially these shorter term ones. They're not going to keep going. They're not going to stay here at this 5.25. But for me, buying something like a 20-year or a 10-year, no, it's just not even something of interest to me. Yeah, but as for the Russell, if you're looking for indicators that it's going to catch up, I don't know, man. We don't have any historical precedent in the QE era of the last 15 years for it not to already have done it. So it's acting bizarre where money is consolidating into very large assets. John says, like the smash button. Thank you, John. He means smash the like. Jaxer, why didn't the Photon pack any bags for its trips to XRP Las Vegas? Because it was traveling light. But thank you, Jaxer. Hugh D says, I'm from the UK and I'm going to my first baseball game at Wrigley Field in a couple of weeks. What are the top 3 food or drink things I need to try? What, at Wrigley Field? Well, see, I don't know what they have over there in the UK. Buy a $14 hot dog, a $12 Coca-Cola, and an $18 nachos and canned cheese. But that's awesome, man. Welcome to the United States. I hope you have a great time. If you're in Chicago, of course, Chicago is famous for a lot of their pizzas. They have Chicago-style pizzas. And probably look it up to see what is the most recommended one. Bingo. Corey, he says, max 3 months left for Bitcoin means max 3.5 or 4 months left for altcoins. Right. I actually made a whole video about that last week. It's still hard to imagine how some of the biggest caps like XRP and ETH could potentially do a 10x or more in that time, but fingers crossed. Well, that's because you just have to look at the market. You have to understand the whole market does it in that time period. Things like this. Let me show you it to you in this manner too, so you see it like this. Hold on. Right? You're right here. Then in 4 months. That's the whole bull run. And that's how the market always is. It's always very aggressive, very euphoric. Right? Here you are at in the crypto market. Here's November 1st. There's January 5th. That's 2 months. And the altcoin market goes from 30 billion to 356. So the whole altcoin market 12x's in 2 months. And so people always think when we're in the thick of the moment that it'll last much longer than it does. Or that these things do last long, but they don't. They're very short. You go from there to there in 4 months. And that's it. Just looks a little bit less aggressive like this. But that's what that is. So, okay. I missed JJ Jacob, member for 11 months. BCB is even being mentioned in the German financial television by Oliver Mitchell. Greetings from Vienna. Really? Mentioned on German financial television on April 29th, 2024. Dude, let's go. There you go. Whiskey Dog 6 just gave the recommendations for Wrigley Field. It says Lou Malnati's Pizza and Au Chavel Burger. There's your recommendations. $73 cheese pizza, $48 cheeseburger. XRP Kidotech says, what's your opinion on Israel bonds? I understand you're not political, but I encourage education on what is possibly a death economy running on warmongering individuals, not a growth economy, in my opinion. I don't know anything about Israel bonds. I know literally nothing. Stash says, that's bad news. I have a theory. When the big boys feel no out, BCB is onto them, they'll change their strategy. Well, the thing was, they didn't hear. the whole market was screaming raging bull, and we're talking about this the whole time and the concerns of being back here. And instead they didn't decide to plow through there. They did reject from there, with all of retail being on that one side. J Hud says, I literally know nothing. I know literally nothing. Quoted by BCB. So, all right. I think we got it. So that's where we're at, guys. We are range bound. We are waiting for just something significant to happen to the range right now. We're back near the upper bound of the range as we were yesterday, but haven't escaped it. So if we can escape it, we'll have something glorious to talk about. Otherwise, of course, I'm not cheering for that, dear God, no. But, until we get a resolution to the range, that's just kind of what we're stuck in right now. And so once we get a resolution and something to happen, then we'll have a whole lot more things to talk about. But we are, the market has pinned us into a corner waiting for something to end up emerging from this. But we have now been range bound for how long? Since the 12th, almost a whole month now, range bound in here. Now we're waiting for a resolution, and that's going to kind of be the story. So cue the basement dwelling reply boys. You just talk about the same thing the whole time. Make the market do something, and we will have something new to talk about. Till then, we're just going to have to wait. E-Man says, Crypto Insight is fab, but best thing you could do for us is remind us being different is okay. Thank you so much. That depends on what kind of different. But thank you, E-Man. I appreciate it, brother. All right. There we go. Callan says, leave my basement out of this. And your mom's Hot Pockets served to you on a plate. All right. There we go. That's it. We're wrapping it up, everybody. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Keep your eye out for a video coming out later today. I hope that you all are doing well. We're just kind of sitting here waiting for the market to give us a resolution from the range that we're stuck in right now. And once we see things start to emerge, we'll be able to comment on them. Until then, we just wait. And otherwise, if you want to do some research on the market and see where have been the hot performers in the market, outside of looking at dev activity, user activity levels, and things of those nature, the most recent newsletter was put out there and really dove into the different sectors and those assets that are within those sectors that have been the hot performers in the cryptocurrency market here in recent times. And that was published over here just last week over there on Substack. This one is a doozy. This one took quite a bit of time to put together and put all the charts in there. With the help of TXMC, we put together some nice, beautiful colors in there for you. And he's done a fantastic job helping with this thing. And I'm really proud of what we're putting together in here. So check that out on Substack. That's blockchainbacker.substack.com. I just posted the link over there in the chat. And there's, of course, a link down there in the description of this live stream. And if videos are more of your thing, oh, by the way, they do all have audio voiceover recordings in there. This one's 25 minutes long. So if you're, like I mentioned, met a lot of people in Australia and over there in Las Vegas. And I know there are definitely hundreds of people listening right now in that exact same boat. Driving a vehicle, doing work, doing something. It is background noise. It is treated like a podcast, right? As you listen to Markets in the Morning, these do also have audio voiceovers in there. So if you'd like to listen to it as well, I do voice record all of the newsletters in there. And there's over 30 of them. I think 37. And you can, of course, if you sign up for the newsletter, go back and listen and read all of the past ones throughout there as well. Lots of alpha in here for sure. Give you a better understanding of the markets and how they've behaved. So check that one out. Check out bcbacker.com. Videos are more of your thing. There's over 40 videos and 11 hours of content over here, teaching you how to set up your own charts and indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. Talking about the historical behavior of the cryptocurrency market at the same time. So give you a fundamental and technical understanding of how this market has worked historically. Otherwise, that's it for this one, everybody. I hope that you all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will catch you tomorrow, but keep your eyes out for a video today. But that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Oh, dude, Andy, brother, gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you so much, man. XP Market, what's up? Thank you. Steven says, "Are your thoughts on the Boeing chart, fella? I've been lurking." All right, you get 2 seconds. 2 seconds with Boeing. Yuck. 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 No, I'm just not interested. Not interested. It just went into full blown bubble, and this was the pop, and this popped 5 years ago. But all right, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. He says encore, encore. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like the live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.